guys, welcome back to my channel. So this time I'm doing something a little bit different than my usual videos. I am going to start a new series called Jet Setting Jordan, and it's going to be based more so off of my flight attendant experiences and just kind of, you know, living my life like it's golden thus far. So anyways, I'm going to start with something that is like really important to me, and a lot of people have asked me, and just to actually give some encouragement to people who have probably been trying to be a flight attendant themselves and they're having some problems, or they just, you know, they just want to know how I became a flight attendant. So this is going to be my flight attendant story, like pretty much how I became a flight attendant as far as like the whole process. So originally it took me more than one try to become a flight attendant. It took actually 3 tries. The first airline I ever applied to, it was just like really random. I was in school and I was actually kind of working my dream job, which was MAC Cosmetics. Like at the time I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be like a really great makeup artist and blah blah blah, which I can say I'm still, you know, definitely going that route and pursuing my dream, you know, in the industry, as far as kind of, you know, just I'm doing it, you know. Anyways, this came across and I was like, you know what, I had considered being a flight attendant before. I was like, why not, let's just go for it. So I applied for United at first, and I believe it was kind of over the summer, and the whole process was like super fast. And I applied, I went through the whole little interview process, and I got called in to go to the actual face-to-face interview, and I was like, oh great, this is it, I'm about to be a flight attendant, like I'm so excited. And I'm from Houston originally, and United has like its main hub in Houston. I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna get to move home, like it's gonna be perfect. And I get out there and I go through the whole interview process. I'm there the whole day. People are getting sent home and our groups are getting smaller, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still here because I'm about to be a flight attendant. Like, what an easy job, whatever, I can do this. And I get to where they asked me to meet the manager, and I go and sit down, and they're like, well, how do you feel about, you know, living in New York? And I'm like, you know, I was expecting Texas, but, you know, I guess if I'm supposed to, you know, end up in New York, I'll go to New York, whatever. So they're like, okay, great. So they have this piece of paper in their hand, and they're handing it to me, and they go, oh wait, do you have any visible tattoos? And at the time I'm like, well, you know, I want to start a job, like, you know, with my best foot forward. So I was like, yeah, I have one tattoo right here. So I like take my watch off. I have like a little watch or necklace, whatever. I'm like, oh, it's right here. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna go over your resume, and then we're gonna get back with you. And I was like, oh, okay, well, great, I'll see from you guys later. Just, you know, I'll start getting packed for New York, whatever. And I go outside and I'm thinking like, wow, I'm gonna be a flight attendant. And the next day they sent me a thanks but no thanks. And I was like, what? Like, what did I do wrong? I thought it was perfect. And, you know, I was told that it was because of the whole tattoo, but I really don't know if that was it, and I never did get any answers as far as that. But that day I was like, oh well, whatever, like I'm gonna be a flight attendant now, because I've never been told no before. I've never not gotten a job, so that must have been a mistake. It was their fault. I didn't want to go to New York anyways. So that day I go back online and I see that American's is hiring and Delta's hiring. So I'm like, great, Delta, that's it. So I applied for both of them because I'm like, yeah, they're both, you know, the same thing, the same job, so why not? So I applied for both of them, and then, you know, I'm really like, okay, I really need to figure out what's going on here. So there was this flight attendant girl who I followed on Instagram because she was Greek as well, and I had kind of just reached out to her like, hey, I'm trying to be a flight attendant. What did you do? Like, you know, because I tried it before, and I guess, you know, whatever I did, I did it wrong, so I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing this time. And she was so sweet. Like, she gave me her number, and she like encouraged me just to keep trying, and, you know, gave me a lot of advice on what to say, you know, how to dress. And like to this day, like when I see her, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I owe her a drink. Like, it's funny because now we work at the same job, but that's for further down in the story. But I've run into her in person, and it was like, oh my God, like it feels like we've known each other for years, because we kind of have impacted each other. Well, she's impacted my life, at least, you know, after all these years. And when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, like I love you, thank you. So anyways, back to the story. I applied for Delta and American, and Delta actually was like extremely quick. Like 2 days later, they're like, okay, well, do you have this? You know, send us this and do this video interview. And then I got called in for the face-to-face in Atlanta. And I was like, okay, guys, like this time, this is it. I bought like a suit, because when I was in the United one, I felt like, okay, well, I had on casual business clothes, whatever. And this time I had like a black skirt, black jacket, like, actually no. I'm lying. Sorry, I take that back. This time I would look like Elle Woods. I had on like a black and white skirt and like a turquoise top, actually, okay? But I had a cute little bob, and I thought, you know, I looked like a flight attendant. If I find a picture, I'll add it to this video, but if not, I'm sorry, I just have to go take my word for it. But I wasn't super professional. I was in business casual clothes, because for the United interview, I was in business casual clothes as well. So I get there and I'm thinking, okay, I'm totally prepared this time. I looked up the questions on Glassdoor. I did everything they tell you that you have to do. And there were some questions on there that were so hard. I was like, they would never ask me those questions, but they did. And it was the hardest interview that I have ever experienced, and I was shocked. You know what I'm saying? I was shook, really. Yeah, I mean, I bombed it, in my opinion. I know that I bombed it. And you know how sometimes you're just being hard on yourself. You're like, oh no, I did bad. No, guys, like I did really bad. Like, no, I stuck out like a sore thumb. And I knew when I walked out of there, I knew halfway through the interview that I wasn't going to get it. So I was like, well, all right. Only problem was when I went there, I didn't know I wasn't going to get it. And I didn't. I put my notice in for my job because I was a little know-it-all. I didn't renew my lease for my apartment. So I came back like to nothing. I didn't have a place to stay because my lease was up, and I didn't have a job. So my best friend at the time, he let me crash on his couch for like 2 months. I had to get my life together. And in that meantime, I hadn't heard from American. Like, I believe when I had first applied, maybe like a couple days later, they sent me the video, like the next portion of the phase, the questionnaire or whatever. And then I got the video, and then I didn't hear from them at all. So I was like, well, I guess I didn't get that one. It had still said pending, but months had gone by, because at least 3 months had gone by, because I had finally gotten a new place, a new apartment, and I had 2 jobs. Like at the time, actually it was 3 jobs, because I had 2 jobs that I was actually working, and then I had Mac. So I was working at Mac too, like picking up shifts, and they had just offered me a position to be a permanent makeup artist. So I kind of was like, whatever, like I guess that dream wasn't for me. I guess it was something that I thought I could get, but God was saying that it wasn't in the cards. You know, I had really come to a place where I had accepted that I wasn't going to be a flight attendant, and oh well. And then a crazy thing happened. Literally 6 months later. 6 months later, American messaged me like, hey, so we've opened the interview process back up, and we liked your application. We're gonna, you know, be calling you soon to set up a face-to-face. And I was like, wow, that is not, I don't know, like at that point I was like, I'm okay now, like I don't even need you guys, like I'm over it. I'm done chasing the dream. I had already tried it twice, and I'm not about to deal with any of that anymore. You know, like what would I do if I got the job, because now I'm in a lease and I have jobs, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, my dad had ended up coming to visit, and at the time we weren't very close, but we are much closer now. And I told him like, hey, American called me for this job, but I don't know if I want to go. And he was like, no, you should go. Like, why not? You went for it, you know, you wanted to do this before, you know, this is your chance to try. And I'm like, whatever. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not going to be like excited about it. But anyways, I ended up getting called for the interview like halfway through January. Like, they really took their time, guys. Anyways, they called me for the interview, and it's like, I don't know, on a Wednesday in Dallas at like 10 a.m., 10:30. And I'm like, okay, great. So this time I am prepared. Okay, this time I have the suits. This time I had a cute little bob that I had like super sleek. I knew all the questions they were going to ask me. I was totally prepared, okay? And my other good friend, she stayed like 5 minutes from the airport, and I was like, I don't want to be late for this flight. Like, I got it. I had a little briefcase, a nice little purse, like I was ready, and I missed my flight to Dallas. I had a 6:25 flight, and at the time I had only been on planes maybe like 3 times in my whole life. I didn't really know anything about flying, and I thought, okay, the flight left at 6:25. I can get there by like 6:15, hop on, and I'm out of here. Ha! Yeah. So I get to the gate at 6:20, and that plane is gone. And I was like, okay, don't panic. What am I gonna do? How can I fix this? What I'm like, Jesus, help me. Like, and I was in San Antonio, which is like a 5-hour drive from Dallas, but I was like, at 6 o'clock, if I speed, I might be able to make this interview. But I was like, but honestly, I'm not gonna make this interview. So I was freaking out, and then something was like, you know what, just breathe, relax, I can handle this. And I like went to the little check-in desk, and I was like, hey, I missed my flight, left early, and you know, I need to get to Dallas, so can you guys help me? And she was like, oh, well, you're the only one who missed it. And I was like, no, it left early. Like, it left at 6:20, and it's supposed to leave at 6:25. And she was like, no, you're the only one who missed this flight, but I will put you on the next one. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And then she's like, okay, well, it says that you're here like for business purposes. Are you like going for an interview? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, well, for what? And I was like, to be a flight attendant. And she laughed in my face, and I was like, yeah, got it. So at that point I was like, okay, well, I got a choice here. Clearly, you know, the feds are watching, the American Airlines feds are watching me, and they know that I've missed this flight, so I'm about to get this job, so should I even go? You know, but I was like, you know what, I'm here. I got the next flight, and to be honest, I was still gonna make it. They just moved me to like the 7:30, so I was still gonna make it way before 10:30. So I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and go. But I was so discouraged, guys. I was on that plane. My auntie like sent me some scriptures, you know, to kind of calm me down. And my grandmother, like, I called her and she kind of just prayed, and I was like, yeah, but it's okay. I've accepted. I'm not gonna get it, so it's okay. And when I tell you guys, like, I walked in that interview, and I was nervous because, you know, I didn't know what to expect, but for the most part, I was like, well, am I going to get the job? So I was like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, hi, I'm Jordan. I'm just happy to be here. You know, this is all for going to be a great experience either way. And I feel like maybe it was meant for me to just relax and really kind of show my real personality for them to get it. I don't know, guys, but I mean, God gave me his good grace, and I got that job, y'all. So, I mean, my story is just to tell you guys, like, you absolutely never know what could happen. But number one, don't be afraid to reach out for help, because that's exactly what I did. And number two, don't be discouraged, you know, if you don't get it the first time. Like I said, I didn't get it the first time. I didn't get the second time. I got it the third time. And I know people that I believe, you know, are really good people, and they have been trying multiple times, and I tell them, like, I commend you for trying. If you really want this, keep going. I mean, it's just, there's so many people in the world, and it's a job that a lot of people do want, and I love my job, so I get it, and I fought for it. So if you guys have any questions, please, please, please reach out to me. If you guys send me a resume and it really looks like you guys are taking this seriously, I will vouch for you, at least for my airline. I can only, you know, send in a letter of recommendation, but I'll send it, you know, I'll play my part, and I'll give you encouragement. And if you ask me questions, I'll do my best to find the answers for you. So just please reach out as far as that. And even if you don't reach out but you want to try it, even if you're just thinking about it, anytime you see that application open, like, go for it, because you just never know how your life is going to turn out. And if it's something that you even would consider doing, you know, like, do it. What are you waiting on? You know? So anyways, I hope that you guys really enjoyed this story. You know, I hope that it touched some people and encouraged some people. And like I said, I do hope that you guys reach out if you want to hear more about my experiences as a flight attendant, any advice, tips, blah, blah, blah. I promise I'm going to send you guys some more. So please just like, subscribe, and please come back. Thanks.